Welcome to a special live show from Hawaii. Haven't done one of these for a while, and I haven't done outdoors and on camera. Anyway, hope my audio is good. In the shade of my Eureka tree right here. It's nice to be outside doing a live. Okay, let's maybe wait a few minutes here and see a couple of people showing up on here. It's a nice, cool spot on a rather warm day today. It is going to be a very special shoe today. I'm going to address a few issues here today. Overdue. Well, I've talked about issues, but let's be really direct today and talk about a few things. And okay, I can't always see your comments unless I come forward and read them, but I'm going to do the best I can, if you don't mind. If I just kind of kick back and relax out here. Okay, two words. Annoyed or aggravated. I think there are certain people who are more of an annoyance than an actual aggravation to me. When you got a pest around that you don't want around anymore, it becomes an annoyance. And I think in my situation, I think that's what's happened. Now, I got one special individual out there. There's more than one. That, good morning, Mr. Perfect. Okay, hello. Yeah, live and we're outdoors today, live and direct. You can't get better than this. I wish I could magnify the screen, but I can't. Maybe there's a way of doing that. I could. But we're live and direct from Hawaii, USA, up here at the 1,500 foot elevation on the slopes of Mauna Loa. And basically, we're out in the shade, and there's a nice cool breeze right here, but it's a rather warm day. Yeah. You haven't seen me live on cam for a while, but today I am. Okay, I'll try to get the comments here when I can. How you doing there, Sex Pet Hunter? Yeah. Well, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here, if you don't mind. Thank you, man. I was looking for my black hat. I couldn't find it this morning. Yeah. Hey, I put on an inch of muscle on my arms. You want to see? How's that? That's not fat. That's muscle. Okay. Yeah, I did. Anyway, what's the purpose of this show? I love getting out and doing this kind of stuff, and I haven't done it for a long time. My audio, I guess, is good. I'm glad about that. Should be. And I think we got to really come to some kind of conclusion on what's been going on here on YouTube. I feel sorry for people when they're lonely. I do have a heart. And if you knew me personally, you know how big my heart is on every level, from animals to people. I've done a lot of good things in my life. I'm very proud to say that. I think it comes a point in life, though, and we discussed this thing between annoyance and aggravation. And as I said, some situations are more of annoyance than they are actually aggravating me. So that's what it really is. If they want to aggravate me, it's not working. They want to annoy me. Yeah, oh yeah, I can be annoyed. I got to read the comments when I can. So you just watched. Yeah, I saw the videos too. Well, gets what he deserves. Yeah, here's the thing, guys. You know, loneliness is it's a horrible thing, and I understand in this particular guy. I understand what's going on with him. No girlfriend. He's not living in a nice place. Not very healthy. He's not very healthy. He's at an older age. We all are getting there. I'm in my 60s myself, and you know, we all think about our mortality, but I think that's the important thing that you have to think of. Think about your mortality. Think about the rest of your life and what you want to do with it, with a loved one, if you have one. It is a horrible situation when you don't have somebody important in your life. I'm not going to make fun of that. I'm really not, because it's really not a funny thing. See, on a human level, I understand where this particular guy is coming from, because it sucks to be lonely. Believe me, I'm separated from my woman I love to death. I love to death. There's nothing I can do about it until I can get into the country. There's just nothing I can do about it. We stay in touch 4 times a day on camera, maybe more sometimes. That's all we can do. There's certain things in life that you have no control of whatsoever. None. But it's up to you to get your life together and make it work for you and not try to attack people all the time unnecessarily, being unfounded just because you have a personal dislike about somebody. That something didn't work out for you in your life, legally, personally, financially, health wise, whatever the situation might be. But is it your job to have to go on the attack of somebody all the time to make yourself feel better? That's the question. And this is what's going on here. I don't want to hurt anybody. It is not my intention to go after somebody legally and, you know, get them out of the country, put them in jail or something. It's not my intention to do that. But you see, I give people a certain amount of time and chance to stop. They'll turn around and say, no, no, he's nonstop. He comes on 1,000 times a day. No, I don't. This guy is on every single day knocking me. Now, what's that expression? You get more bees with honey or whatever. But if you're going to be putting a lot of spite out there, if you're going to be putting a lot of hatred, and you're going to try to find fault with somebody, you're not going to get a great reaction from that. You might not get no reaction. Something will happen down the line. You never know. But there comes a point where you've got to make a decision that it's time to stop. We understand there's a gripe going on between me and a couple of people in here, you know, especially this one guy. We understand his living situation. Some of us may empathize. Some of us may sympathize. I know I got to get to the... Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, they're creating their own faith, is what I'm trying to say in a polite way. They're creating their own faith. Look, I do actually believe in karma. I know some people don't believe in that. It's come true in the 6 years that whatever the hell it's been, I've been on YouTube. You know, I really enjoy doing YouTube shows when I could sit and talk to my audience like this. I've done that for years. But all it takes is one rotten apple in a bunch, you know, to spoil the bunch. And this is what goes on social media. It doesn't have to be YouTube. It could be Facebook, Twitter. It really don't matter. Look, I'm not a harmful person. I'm not out to harm somebody physically. I never would. If you knew me on a personal level, yeah, I am very opinionated. That's for sure. But that's just who I am. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion about just about anything. You know, my neighbor taking off here. And when you are met with a lot of adversity, you have choices that you could make. You could walk away from it, turn your head on it. You could do whatever it is you want to do. You could approach it head on. It's really up to your character how you feel a direction would be better taken against an individual. But when they're doing a show every single day on you and they're trying to drag your name through the mud, which has been done for years and by some of the same individuals. We got idiots like Passport TV. We got Roberto Dunn, he's out there. He goes under different names. In fact, I think he's the DQ. Could be wrong on that. It's just another extension of Passport. But we have a lot of people that used to be on that were haters that are still on, but they go under different names. Dave is still on. But trust me, Popeye's still on. They're all still on. They're just cowards going under different names. Now, look, I'm not looking for adversity with anybody out there. I'm not. I'm really not. It is not my goal to come on YouTube and have to be annoyed, like I said. Not aggravated, but annoyed. That's what it is. It's an annoyance, like that little mouse that might get in your house and he's been, you know, peeking out at you and saying, try to get me if you can. And it makes you want to get this mouse even more and get him out of the house. It kind of comes to something like that. So it just becomes an annoyance. But when somebody continues, hey, puppy becomes an annoyance, then you have to do something about it. Or you could choose to go the other way. But I think when it comes to a point that it's so continual, see, here's the thing that people have to think about, okay? And they don't think about it. Everybody thinks they're above the law, perhaps, or they think that, hey, man, this guy ain't going to do nothing because he's just a lot of talk, this and that. But that's not really true. You know that. No, but it's, that's just the way it is. Yeah, it's shady. It's a nice, cool spot here. Actually, Areca. It's an Areca tree. It's kind of a hot day today. So find a little shade over here. Yeah, right. She wouldn't have picked. The dog just took a shit over here, right? The only reason she picked it up is because I was sitting here. Well, we won't get into that. But anyway, um, I actually enjoy a lot of my viewers. I think they're
What are you
very
doing?
creative, even my enemies out there. I think
What are you doing?
they have shown such a level of
Huh?
creativity that it's kind of sad
Me?
that they can't put this creativity to
Just hanging
something
around.
positive and actually create a show that generates a lot of money, man. I just think they're wasting their time. But again, the annoyance versus the aggravation. No, it's just to me an annoyance. Now, look, I could turn around and say and cut a deal with this one particular guy and say, hey, man, why don't you try to get your life together? Why don't you try to stop doing shows about me? But that's not going to work. I'm a reasonable guy, but, but you can only reason with somebody who can reason. Some people don't have the capability of reasoning. They don't. And this is one guy that doesn't. Look, I don't know what the hell his goal in his life is, build a project, and which we know it's not going to happen, but you got to humor the guy, I guess. Understand what loneliness is. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading my comments. Yeah. What do we got? 14 viewers. 5 thumbs up. I guess I should accept that. Yeah, we are outdoors here in the beautiful Hawaii. It's a sunny day with a blue sky and white puffy cumulus clouds, and we're under. Well, in front of me, there's a nice areca palm. It's the only shade I can actually find around the property right now. And my head is rubbing against this century plant. You don't want this in your eye, let me tell you. See this thing right here? No. My arms look bigger? They do. You don't want this in your eye. Just trust me. I've had it happen. I'm a reasonable person, like I said, but you could only take so much bullshit. You could be forgiving to a point, but then there comes a point where you just can't forgive anymore. You want to, on your human nature, you want to draw from your insides and you want to just say, this is extremely childish. You don't know the person, maybe you only met him a few times or whatever it might be. In the scheme of life, what does it matter what somebody else thinks of you? Well, the difference with that, it's not just a matter of what somebody thinks about you. It's a matter of how far they go to drag your name through the mud internationally. For example, the flyers that went around my neighborhood, I know who did that. I know exactly who was involved, and it was more than one. That was taking it too far, and it happened twice. So the my association knows about it, did a police report on it, and the post office has a copy of this report, and it's on record. It's on record. And as I said, I have an idea who did this. It's not just one person, but it's not something I talk about online. This is when you're pushing the envelope too far. This is when you've gone too far, where there's no backing out. There's no backing out whatsoever. You could try to be understanding, and like I said, this thing about loneliness, it's really something that really hits people hard. And I know some of these individuals are really, and some of the other trolls are actually very lonely in their life, and they're just projecting this loneliness out. They want attention in any way they can, because even the old saying, even negative attention is still attention. My teeth are not all rotted out. Okay, they're capped. Okay, once and for all. Did it get a little yellow now and then? Yeah, I put turmeric in my teeth and I brush it off, and it's fine. Just to get that out of the way. I had to take it. Yeah, worry about your own teeth, folks. Yeah, my teeth are capped and paid for. There's no pull-outs. They're capped, crowned, and I didn't run away on a dentist and not pay the dentist. Okay, let me catch a couple of comments here before I continue. It's all about money. Yeah. So let's get rid of some of the rumors first of all on here. We'll continue. Um, you know, my happiness is number one in my life. Number one, and there's nothing I would do to try to interfere with that happiness in my life. Nothing. The love of my life is the most important thing in my life. And I would die for her. Literally, not figuratively, I would die for her. It's hard to find somebody like that you could actually say you would die for. And a lot of the comments that have been made in the past, there's nothing wrong with my memory. I'm not that old yet. Oh, what a nice breeze. I don't know if you could hear that. You probably hear this crunching of this goddamn thing against my headphone. My teeth, okay? Yeah, they're real. They're capped, whatever you want to call it, crowned. Okay. So the way I'm looking at this is this. You could put an olive branch out to somebody. I've tried that in the past, and it just never works. It never works.
You're a fucking idiot.
Sometimes I think people go
This
just
needs
much
to
too far
stop.
to forgive me.
Now.
This guy has gone way too far. His whole life, no matter what he does in his yard, his whole life is revolved against, I'm going to get even, I'm going to get even, I'm going to get even. Get even with what? You know, you tried to do a case against me, it didn't work. Technicalities or not. Try to formulate a life, and you won't have to come on a show all the time and be so obsessed with one human. This is so Twilight Zone stuff. You know, it's one flew over the cuckoo's nest type of stuff here. I mean, seriously. Yeah. And it's gone too far. I don't want to hurt anybody. Seriously, I don't. It really is not my nature. Believe it or not, it's really not my nature. People have created that facade about me on here. I've never hurt anyone. Certainly not intentionally. Have I been a good boy the whole time since I've been on YouTube? No. Sometimes quite purposefully. Having a little fun, doing a little baiting and whatnot's been done to me. But all in innocence. But people take things and they turn it around and they build up on it and make you sound like you're some kind of a creature from the Black Lagoon or something. I'm none of the above. Oh, don't get me wrong. You get on my bad side in a bad way. Well, you know, according to what you're doing, you know, insulting my family, my girlfriend, things like that. My father, which they did, my deceased father, you know, that was really cruel from what was it, Passport that did that or DQ. My father never drank. Actually, he had a glass of wine in a picture, but somebody decided to put that memorial picture on there. That was as low class as you could possibly go. That really was. But anyway, I consider the source, and that's where I deal with it because I consider the source of who's putting that stuff out. And if you really think about it, there's probably something very wrong with the lives of these people who have that kind of time to be so obsessed with another human being or other human beings or many human beings to come on YouTube and do shows like that constantly. I think it speaks encyclopedias about the person who actually does that stuff. But getting back to a couple of individuals, and you know, I want to address something to Barry. You know, Barry, you have threatened me many times. Stop telling people on there you've never threatened anybody. You're the one that's always getting threatened. Come on, we're sick of hearing that. I'm sick of hearing it. No, Barry, I could break you like a twig if I wanted to be violent with you. I hope it really doesn't come down to that because you're not going to the police, I can tell you that. You will never turn to the police. That is not a direction you are taking, and you know that. And by the way, we all knew where you were living last time, and we know where you're living almost every time you go. I'm not telling you how. I'm not saying I'm planting people, but I've taken a very deep interest in you, Barry. I'm going to tell you that right now, a very deep interest in you. It's not over with me and you by far. Calling me a predator, a sexual predator? No, a pedophile. Barry, you're dating underage teenagers, girls. How could you call me a pedophile? Did I physically harm a child in my life? I never
Where's
done
your
that.
room?
You,
Oh, you
however,
have
having
your own
sex
room?
with
Come on,
children,
little girl.
underage teenagers. Well, what do you say to that, Barry? You're not into drugs, you say? Bullshit. That's bullshit. We all know that. You can say whatever you want on your show. Maybe a new person that tunes in might believe you, but people who've been following you for years, we don't believe your bullshit. You're living a miserable fucking life, man. You a miserable fucking life. And you know what? That's payment enough for me at some point. The same as the other guy. He's living a really miserable life. I really don't have to do anything if I don't want to. But the only reason I want to do something is that you have to make a point to somebody that enough is enough. And when they don't stop, oh, I know, I hear the reverse of this all the time, that I'm nonstop about him all the time. That's not true. If he doesn't do anything about me, and a lot of times I don't talk about him, or sometimes I'll have a little fun. I can have a little fun on my show. He has made mistakes on there that he's paying for. His nudity on camera, he did that all on himself. I noticed that people are doing shows up to Kaziliak on him. I guess it's his week, and showing his embarrassing moments. In other words, this guy can't talk about anybody else. When look at his resume, if you think about his dossier, his portfolio, if you think about his resume of buffoonery that he's done here on YouTube, I mean, come on, it speaks for itself, dudes. Okay, Passport is another Warren type of, yeah, he is. No, he's not. No, I'm outside the house. I'm not going to say much more about the house, except something definitely is going here. These VA loans, they really suck. Yeah, VA loans really suck. Takes a while on that. No, I'm not going to make a fortune on the place, but it's be more money than I've seen in a long time. I'll tell you that. Yeah, unfortunately, if anybody wants to get a VA loan, there's usually like a 10,000 kickback to the buyer. That happens a lot, and VA tends to come in on their estimates rather on the low side compared to other conventional loans or whatnot. It's not really a win situation with a VA loan because you're trying to help the veteran situation. But all right, I understand help the veteran, but I need to help myself. But once the house is actually officially sold and signed over and checks in my hand, combined with the money I already have in the bank in Philippines, and with that, I mean, just can live on my Social Security and live well. And this is just extra money in an emergency and stuff. So it's all cool. Am I going to buy a house? We thought about it. We know of a guy from UK. It's a three-bedroom place. His Filipino left him. Well, he left her. But she doesn't own the house. It's kind of an unusual situation. He must be leasing the land. He actually became a resident. He paid for that. He became a resident. And he's thinking of selling the place. And, if his price was a lot less than he was asking, I'd consider it. But, I'm first, I haven't seen the pictures yet. I'm kind of ahead putting the horse before the cart. I don't know if I want to own a house. I really don't know. But that's getting on the more personal side. So I'm going to get off that. Say it's an option. It's an option. But for those people thinking that I couldn't get close to what I wanted for the house, you're wrong because I'm actually getting pretty close. It dipped below. Well, the smoke ain't there yet. There's going to be an appraiser coming over here, and we'll know the real skinny on the deal. And whatever it is, I'm going for it. That's it. I decided I want to be a landlord anymore. You know what? I'm not a bad landlord. I've never been. It's your tenants that you have to deal with all the time, and not all of them are pretty square with you. You know, um, People have their moods. They get bitchy and they get whatever, and they, get vindictive and they try to make your life miserable. But it's your inner strength, your truth, and your character that gets you through this stuff. And you stick up for your own character. Someone's doing you wrong, you stick up for yourself. You stick up for your character. Don't ever let anybody step all over you. That includes YouTube. And that's exactly what's going on here. You think I want to deal with this crap? Do you know all the times I said I'm getting off YouTube. I'm getting off YouTube. You know, I never inhaled. I never inhaled. Um, I meant it. I mean it to this day. But just with this virus situation and having to be in a lot because you don't want to be around crowds and stuff, you get bored and you put a show on like most of you do. Only some of you guys go a little bit further. You're unhappy with your life. You're miserable. So let me put a show on. Just that's going to down somebody else as if they're going to make their, you're going to change their day. You're going to change their finances. You're going to change their personal life. You're going to change their romantic life. None of that affects me. None of that will ever affect me. That's the beauty of it. But I want you to see something here. Put yourself in a position like with this one guy. His girlfriend left him. He's living in less than desirable accommodations, trying to do something in his mind that he thinks is going to happen when we all know it's not going to happen. So what we do is we humor these people. It's mental illness is what it is. And it's, again, my famous word, demonstrative behavior from their shows depict and actually paints a very clear picture of what's going on with this guy. Something is not right, but loneliness plays an important part of this. It really does. And I don't know, should you feel sorry for someone like this? Because loneliness is horrible. Has anybody ever been lonely out there? I get most of you haven't. Most of my viewers are probably lonely right now. That's why you spend an extraordinary amount of time looking at everybody's YouTube videos and share them and say, what can I get on this guy now? Oh, let me write this down. Let me take notes. This is the way it is, man. You got too much time on your hands. We're all going through something right now. It's one big club. With this virus that's out there, it's affecting every single one of us and in a lot of negative ways. We've changed as a nation out here. We've changed as a planet, as a world. This virus has changed the world, and we got new variants coming in that's changing our world even more. There are more important things to be concerned with in life than what Frank says on his show, or how much money you think I have, or how much my house you think is worth, or did I commit a crime or something, or whatever allegation you make on me or anybody else. There is more important things in this world, and some of you are not seeing what's going on. You're oblivious to the destruction of this own planet, of our society, as a nation, as a world, as a people, as an individual, what we're going through. This is a serious situation going on with this virus. Whether it's intentional or unintentional and how the virus got released, whether it was originally a biological war weapon that was intentionally put out, some conspiracy theorists believe, and it's not a total, uh, I don't have a total disagreement on this, that it's population control. I think there might be a certain amount of population control going on with this thing. It's quite possible. Your government is not going to tell you. Anyway, I haven't been as active as I'd like to. I work out with a little bit of hand weights and whatnot, but it's just not enough. The weather's been kind of hot. It's been too rainy out here. And a lot of times I do lay on my ass. Partially depressed from not being able to get back to the Philippines at this time, and partially just disillusioned with just about every fucking thing. This virus going on, the separation between me and the Philippines, having to deal with idiots on here and have to do legal cases and shit. You think I really want that? You think I have fun doing that? I actually don't. It's a waste of my time. But I think sometimes you have to knock somebody down a few notches to make them understand that what they're doing is not right. And this one guy, he's constant every single day. And he exaggerates everything he ever says on there about me. He makes 150 videos a day. They're all about me. And I go on and do this, do this guy. But the bottom line is, folks, the guy is miserable. The fact is, I don't need to do anything. Just watch him just dwindle away. Same as Barry. They're both not in good health. Okay? They're not. It's just a matter of time. Look at Big Kevin. I don't even know if he's alive anymore. There's other people, that talk the talk but don't walk the walk, They're easy to put out words against somebody, but that's all they do. They're keyboard warriors. Why don't people just concentrate on what's more important in their life? What's going to enrich their life or further their endeavors or something, instead of concentrating on somebody that you probably never met. And we're talking about all this legal shit. For what? We don't even know each other. I'm not even in the same country with these people right now. It doesn't make any sense. However, my situation's different because I've done the paperwork prior to leaving the country and I've already signed a bunch of paperwork. This is ready to go out any time. All I got to do it. That's it. And no, it's not civil. It's criminal and civil on this particular case. And no, contrary what you believe, sir, I'm not after money because you don't have any money. Okay, it's the principle of what's going on. I don't care about the money. You don't have any money. And you never will. It's not a civil thing. But let's go back. And if you haven't heard this story before, I'll give it again. When I was going to a hearing, because this guy wanted to try to file a case on me, so he had to file a report. So I had to show up and behold to this office. It was MBI, I guess, yeah. And the first time the my lawyer showed up, and he said to her, "Oh, where's Frank? That's too bad. I was hoping we could settle this matter today." Well, my friends, what that simply means is he was trying to put this over my head, saying, "You know what, man? I got a lot of shit against you. I'm going to clean you out of your money. You already spent money on a lawyer. Ha ha ha. Well, you might need a lawyer. You better think about that." So he figured he'd get some money off me. In other words, look, I'll tell you what, I'll settle this. Here's a little bit of play money, and drop this report so there's no case or something. No, I didn't do that. Fuck no. That's what he was hoping for, but that's not what happened. And that's why he's bitter. Bitter. Okay. Uh Maybe you could do a weekly stream. That would be according to, yeah, well, you never know. Well, he has a really bad attitude. That's the problem, man. He just got a really bad attitude. Look, I I get directly to him because I'm not afraid to do something direct to him. Dude, I know your life is miserable. I know you spend a lot of lonely nights. Okay, on a human level, I could feel for you. Yeah, I could actually do that. But I don't care to because you've done enough damage, not just to me, but other people. It's not just me, it's a lot of people. Even people that have given to your channel, you treated them like shit. You treat everybody like shit because you are miserable in your own skin. No matter how much weight you lose or whatever you do, you're still going to be who you are. Remember, no matter where you go, you carry yourself from, you want to go to greener fields, green pastures, you go to a green pasture, but you got to carry yourself. Whoever you are, you are. If you're an asswipe, you're an asswipe. That's just the way it goes. You got to make the changes in yourself. Concentration, my God, every day, what I'm going to do to you when you come to the Philippines. What are you going to accomplish? Did you ever think, perhaps, think about this, that it may not go your way, might have the opposite effect, and you possibly could be deported or worse? Something to think about. Yeah. I already know the evidence I have, and it's damning. You got to ask yourself, you willing to take that chance? You could stop right now and not do another show. You mention my name or any reference to me, and I'll give it some consideration. I will. Um, I will give it real consideration. I don't think that's going to happen, though. But I'm a fair man. But I can take this as far as you want me to take it. Maybe a testing ground. Maybe you're testing me, perhaps. But I'll bite. Do what you want. Do you believe me? Or do you think I'm bullshitting, that there's nothing going on? See what's happened to that one guy? That's real. That's not made up. That is absolutely not made up. And it's the Republic of Philippines versus so and so. My name ain't on there, only in a report. Because when you commit a cybercrime, the state, call it the state, takes over versus so and so. Your name is just kind of on the sidelines. And even you talk about a civil thing. The state, the republic takes the money. Unless you file for personal civil damages, that's a different story. There's no money involved with this. I'm not out there to make any fucking money off you because you don't have any money. despite what you tell people. But it's one of your lies that everybody's familiar with. Now, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of these shows. I think I've had my say this past week because I've really started getting into a lot of shit. Because I just want it over with. I just want it out of the way. I want to be done with this crap. Um, you know, the fact that I'm even on YouTube is a violation, you know, to somebody that doesn't like me to be on YouTube. Okay, it's my bad, you know. But during this virus situation, and I'm making excuses, so maybe I am. You got a little time on your hands. You don't mind doing a show here and there, and kind of getting your feelings out, which I think is a good thing to do if you're going to be honest with your feelings, not to lie. You still for the healthcare workers, yeah, really. Now, as far as a guy's nudity on camera, I didn't cause him to be nude on camera. He embarrassed himself. And now, as I said, that other famous word, deflect, he's trying to deflect from all the shit that he did on camera and try to put it in my direction. Um, what's his name? Blong. Rich Blong has been putting on a lot of shows in regards to this guy. And you could see what's on there. I didn't put it on. You could see some of the embarrassing and stupid things this guy has done. Did I do that? I didn't do that to him. He did it to himself. So pardon my sarong, but it's not my doing. It's his doing. And all his lame excuses as to make some justification on why his thing is not very big. And I didn't, fool around with Mother Nature and cause that problem. That's his problem. And everybody saw it and they all went off on it. So, is it something I created? No, I didn't create it. He created it by doing that show. Guys, I got to go. This is a rare live on camera out among the Areca palms here in the beautiful state of Hawaii. It's turning into a semi-cloudy day today, but it's getting cooler. It's really nice, and I was glad to come out here and talk to my viewers. So, is there a motto to this whole freaking thing? I guess so. You reap what you sow. Water seeks its own level, and continue doing the things you do, and it just makes it worse for yourself. I always give forewarnings to people, and when they continue beyond a certain point, um, there's no turning around. Something to think about, guys. Do you feel that confident? Do you feel lucky? Do you? What if your luck runs out? Can you afford to be living in America? Can you afford to be deported? Lose all your tools, everything. You can't afford to live in America. Think about this. America is expensive. I'm here right now, and I could tell you it's very, very expensive. Don't let your ego get in the way because that ego is what's going to destroy your ass. When you got this cocky attitude, better than thou attitude, narcissist attitude, that only leads to destruction of yourself, not me. Time will tell, won't it? Don't ever say I didn't say so to you. You could stop it all right here if you want, but you won't. This has been a live experience here with yours truly. And I'm glad to have taken you into my yard. Yeah. Hey, Barry, let me see those skinny arms of yours. You going to kick my ass? Let me tell you, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Face reality. Stop being so cocky yourself. One of these days, these arms are going to be around your fucking neck. Okay? We don't want that to happen, do we? I don't want that to happen. But if you get in my face, all bets are off, my friend. All bets are off. But we don't condone violence on my show. But when the chips are down, chip away, my friend. Chip away. Thanks for listening, my good friends.